Hi, welcome to Integrity Academy. This is the regulatory exams, the RE workshop for 2023. We are empowering you to succeed and thrive through accredited online education. Let's look at the introduction. I'm going to be your facilitator for this workshop. I'm a qualified RE advanced facilitator. I've written these RE exams myself. I gained a lot of knowledge over the years. I'm going to share a lot of tips with you as well. So please have a ruler and a pen and a highlighter with you, as I'm going to ask you at certain places to make notes, highlight this, or underline certain things. That's important for you to know to prepare you for the RE exams. My experience, I've got more than 10 years experience in RE facilitation. If you've got any questions, you are more than welcome to email me. You will see my email address after each unit, which I will share with you. You're welcome to phone us, or please join the RE forum at www.integrityacademy.co.za and ask all your questions there. We will then answer them as well. Remember, we are here to help and to assist you. We want you to pass the RE exam the very first time. You can also look on our website testimonials. We helped hundreds and hundreds or thousands of students who passed these RE exams the very first time. It is doable, it is possible. I'm going to show you how. So please have a look at our testimonials and also our courses on our website at www.integrityacademy.co.za, or just click on the following links, which will take you directly to them. There I go to give the links for testimonials. We do class of business online as well. The RE exams, we do the workshops, give you the study material. Unfortunately, you cannot write the exams with us, but we give you the training materials. The NQF4 qualifications, NQF5, NQF6 qualifications. We also do CPD online courses, skills workshops, software training, and there's also a link to have a look at all our clients as well. Just to read you one testimonial, one of hundreds. This I also received from one of my students. She said, "Good day, Yaku. I attended the workshop that you've hosted for the RE exam on 27 September 2019. That was just before COVID lockdown. And I would like to deliver feedback as you requested. People, I always request feedback. If you find this course helpful and you also passed it the very first time being with us, please go to the website and put a testimonial there. We'll just love it. I wrote my RE exam last week, Wednesday, which was the 2nd of October 2019, for the very first time. And I'm proud to say that I passed by 82%. You see, just another one of our students have written the RE exam the very first time and she passed. I found the workshop very helpful because the practical examples you supplied, the relatable ways in which you applied the information, your visual examples, the scope of what you could be asked in the exam, the tips on how to approach a multiple choice exam. I trust this information can be used to improve your workshops as well as Integrity Academy. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. So people, we've got many, many more such positive uh, testimonials and feedbacks on our website. So come and please read some more. Some administrative things. Whiteboard. I'm going to draw some illustrations on a whiteboard to explain and make things clearer and more understandable. Please save them or watch them again, over and over again. It just when some people, when they see a picture, it's stuck in their head. So that's why I'm doing that. Evaluation feedback. Please complete our online feedback form at the end of your completed session. We want to use the feedback information to see if our services to our valued candidates or clients are up to standard, and we would also like to hear any information you can suggest in order for us to better our services to you, our valued clients. You can find the feedback forms also on our website www.integrityacademy.co.za. The NQ framework and credits. People, this is not in your RE study guides. This is not part of the RE exams. So we realize that a lot of people don't understand this. So that's why we thought we're just going to share it with you. So the NQ framework, the following slides are not needed to know for the RE exams, but rather just for your information. They are not included in the study guides. We realize that a lot of students don't know how the credits work. They think if they have 60 credits, then they are okay. Or they just need the additional 60 credits to get their required 120 credits for their qualification. But in the meantime, they don't have 60 credits. They think they've got, but they've got only 30. Unfortunately, that is not always the case, and then they get a huge surprise. This is just to make sure that the students understand how this works to save them a lot of time and money at the end of the day. The NQF levels are grouped into 3 sub-frameworks. In the Council on Higher Education, the CHE, and they handle all the NQF 5 to NQF 10 qualifications, which are your higher certificate, your diploma, your degree, your honors degree, your master's degree, and your doctorate degree. Then we look at the general and further education and training sub-work. That's Umalusi, who handles all the NQF 1 up to NQF 4 qualifications. And then the third framework is trades and occupation. The QCTO and CETAs, they work from NQF 1 up to NQF 8, which is workplace-based education and training qualifications. Then you'll see also some acronyms. SAQA, which stands for the South African Qualification Authority. CHE, the Council on Higher Education. QCTO, which is Quality Council for Trades and Occupation. INSETA, it's Insurance Sector Education and Training Authority, which is our SETA. And then CETAS is just a Sector Education and Training Authority. There are many CETAs for each different trade has got its own industry, got their own CETA. If you look at this diagram and you start at the bottom there at number 1, Umalusi, they handle the NQF 1 up to NQF 4 qualifications, as we just said. And the NQF 1 is a general certificate, grade 12. NQF 2 is an elementary certificate, grade 10. Your NQF 3 is an intermediate certificate, grade 11. And your NQF 4 is a national certificate, grade 12, which is also the same as matric or standard 10. Then when you look at the NQF from 5 up to 10, that is for the CHE, the higher education. NQF 5 is a higher certificate, NQF 6, the diploma, NQF 7, a bachelor's degree, NQF 8, the bachelor's and honors degree, NQF 9, your master's degree, and NQF 10, your doctorate degree. Okay, on the right hand side, you also see the QCTO has 2 types of occupational qualifications. And they are the occupational certificate, which is 120 credits or more, or your occupational award, which is 25 to 119 credits. Now, the types of unit standards. We get fundamental unit standards, core unit standards, and elective unit standards. Now, remember the fundamental F is like the foundation of a house. You cannot build a house if there's no proper, solid foundation. That foundation must be there, otherwise your house will crumble and the walls will fall apart and yeah, no more house. So the fundamentals, like the foundation, it's unit standards which you must do. They are compulsory, all right? The purpose of them is to achieve competence needed for qualification as a whole. And that comprises of communication, numeracy, possible personal development, life skills, computer literacy, etc. If you look at the second type of unit standard, the core, that is like the wall. So once you build the foundation, the rock solid foundation, now you can put the house walls on the cores, which the roof must come on later on. So the walls are also very important. The core is also compulsory, it must be done. So your fundamental and your core, your foundation and your walls of the house must be there and it must be solid. Okay. Think of it that way. The purpose of the core is to contextualize the qualification and comprises of both the theory and the practice, forming the basis of the qualification. So what you must know and what you must be able to do. It's like a doctor. A doctor needs to study medicine, but the doctor also needs to be practical. He needs to stand there and cut you open and operate. It's not only learning knowledge, he must practically do that as well. And the same with many other industries and businesses. Your elective, the last unit standard, that's the extra, the nice to have. Okay? And the purpose of the elective is to enrich the qualification or specialize in a subject. It's to fulfill it, or to specialize in a certain direction, and comprises of a selection of additional credits at the specified NQF level from which the candidate can choose from. Some qualifications are made of unit standards, while others are based on modules. There are qualifications, rules for each qualification that specify the combination of unit standards and or modules and their credit values. There are different credit values for the different unit standards. So your fundamental unit standards, remember the foundation of the house, it must be done. They are compulsory unit standards of a qualification. Your core units must also be done. Remember the walls, they must be there. They must be solid for the roof you're going to attach later on. There are also compulsory unit standards of a qualification rule. Elective unit standards must be chosen to make the outstanding required credits. They're nice to have. The learner must choose elective unit standards to make up the difference needed to get the required credits for the qualification. You can select from a variety of elective credits linked to the qualification. Strategic selection of elective credits can help organizations to be more market competitive and responsive to market needs. Most providers do not offer candidates a choice of elective, although technically they could. You select the elective credits based on the number of credits remaining after the fundamentals and core credits. Now, for example, to explain to you better, if a qualification is 120 credits and fundamental credits totals 30 and the core credits totals 70 credits, then you only have 100 credits. So you don't have your 120 credits you need, but you've done the fundamental and core, the ones that you must done. So the outstanding credit then is remaining 20 credits. The student can then choose the outstanding 20 credits from the elective credits to make up the total of 120 credits. But it can be more. You can pick 25, 30, 40, doesn't matter. As long as it's at least the 20 you short. There is no limit to the amount of elective credits on a qualification. So you can get extra 80, whatever you want. The fundamental and the core unit standards must be completed successfully as they are required for the full qualification or unit standards. If you leave the core or the unit credits out and you get 120 credits for the elective, you will still not get your qualification because you did not choose the fundamental and core credits, which is compulsory. So you always start with them. You do what you must do and you just fill it up with the rest. You do the fundamental and core credits which you must do, and you fill it up, you top it up with the elective credits, okay? So to have 120 credits, they will count from the fundamental, the core, and the elective unit standards, which will make up the required total of 120 credits. Elective unit standards are not always a must and can be chosen as additional unit standards to specialize in a certain field is like a nice to have unit standard. Elective unit standards will count towards the credits if the combination of fundamentals, core, and elective is correct. So students think that if they have 60 credits, then they are okay and only need the additional 60 credits to get the required 120 credits for their qualification. When we do a credit analysis, then we see that they do not have that 60 credits, which is either not relevant or the 60 credits are elective credits only, and they are thus not from either the fundamental or the core credits, which is compulsory. So please note, make sure that your current credits are from fundamental and core credits so that they will count and you don't have to redo those credits again. So if you look, this is just some examples. If you are interested to do the National Certificate in Wealth Management, the NQF Level 5, your fundamental credits going to be 39, so your foundation, which you must do. Your core credits is 40. Also, the walls of the building, you must do them. So that gives you a total of 79 credits. You short 41. The 41 credits you can choose from the elective credits to make up the total, the minimum of 120 credits you need to get this qualification. Okay, so you can thus see that the fundamental credits was 39 and the core was credits is 40, so therefore it was 79, and that was not enough for the minimum 120 credits you required. So now the student can choose the additional required 41 credits from the elective credits to make up the total minimum required 120 credits. If you look at the short-term insurance NQF level 4, your fundamental credits there is 68, your core credits is 51, and your elective credits you need is 31, but you can choose any 31 from 352. The total minimum credits for this qualification, short-term insurance, NQF level 4, is 150 minimum. You can now see that the fundamental 68 credits plus the course 51 credits is only 119. So you short 31 credits. That's not enough to make up the minimum required of 150. So now the student can choose the additional required 31 credits from 352 elective credit options to make up the total minimum required 150 credits. If you're planning on doing the FETC Wealth Management, the NQF level 4, their fundamental credits is 68, their core credits is 45, and the elective credits is 37 out of 352 you can choose from. And also your minimum required is 150 credits. So you can now see the fundamental 68 credits plus the course 45 credits is only 113 credits. And that's not enough to make up the minimum required 150 credits. So now the student can choose the additional 37 credits from 352 elective credits options to make up the total minimum required 150 credits. So when we look at the qualification versus competency, qualification is based on unit standards and is governed under SAQA. Qualifications is more knowledge and application focused. So do you have the knowledge and can you apply your knowledge to be able to do the job? Your competency is more job focused. Competency assesses the skill and the knowledge relating to a particular function. A qualification that does not necessarily imply competence. So, in this industry, you learn how to do client credit analysis, of analysis of clients. You learn how to work with clients, the calculations, the all those accounting fees, all those kind of things. How to work with the client, how to relate to clients, how to overcome any objectives they may have, etc. But let's say a doctor, he wants to start selling insurance. He's got the qualification, but does he have the competence? Can he do this job? Maybe he can, maybe he can't, but we are not sure. Therefore, his qualification does not say and imply that he's competent to do this job. Our agenda for Integrity Academy, we're going to look into our vision, our mission, our values, our value proposition, an introduction. We're going to share some study tips with you, multiple choice exams, how do you do them, how do you approach them, and some glossary of terms and learning outcomes. So what is the vision of Integrity Academy? It's to provide learners with exceptional quality facilitated and online training in a seamless, easy to access and user-friendly format. Our mission: Integrity Academy will endeavors to provide high-quality learning material in an easy, accessible format. We develop and enable learners in the financial services industry to excel at what they do best. All our lecturers are subject matter experts and or certified financial planner professionals, also known as CFPs, ensuring our commitment to high quality is maintained. We make our services available to any person who wants to develop his or her skills in qualifications to establish a career path in the financial services industry. What is our values? Integrity. We got integrity. We are professional. Trust. You can rely on us. And quality of service. Our value proposition to you. Number one, accessibility. Day or night, study material can be accessed online 24/7, 365 days a year. I had students that told me while I was sleeping in South Africa, my bed between 2 and 5 in the morning, because they are in other countries, they were busy online doing their studies and their qualifications. So you can do it whenever you want. 2, self-paced learning. You determine when you want to start and how swiftly you reach your completion date. Whenever you're ready, sit in front of your computer, start it on, log into our website, and you can start doing your studies. 3, flexibility. Your schedule is determined by your obligations. Number 4, support. We've got a dedicated online support when required, Google Chats, Skype calls, online chat, etc. 5, study anywhere in the world. You can download your study material online and then you can work offline. So even if you're on your holiday in Mauritius, you're sitting on the beach, you can watch your study material and learn it offline. 6, efficiency. Speedy response in grading of workbooks. 7, learning styles. We've got visual styles, auditory, read, write, and kinesthetic. 8, instant gratification. The material is instantly available after payment has been confirmed within a couple of minutes. Simplistic content delivery. No more handwritten workbook assignments. 10, mobile learning, multiple device support. You can access your study material on your PC, your laptop, tablet, or smartphone. 11, online library, easy way of retrieving information. If you log on to our website, you will find a library where you can get various acts and board notices and other information which you can also use. 12. CPD and Class of Business online courses, online multiple choice testing. So it's a multiple choice exam which you can do 40 questions in 80 minutes. So you've got 2 minutes per question. And then once you pass, you can get the verifiable certificate. Just log into onto the website under your profile, and you look under My Certificates, where you will find the certificates. 13. Soft skill workshops includes video, audio, support material, and also verifiable certificates. 14. Become tech savvy. Embrace and adapt towards technology. It just makes your world much easier. 15. A compliance tool. Track your students' results online 24/7 and 365 days. So for the bigger companies who buy vouchers and you've got a lot of students studying with us, you can track their progress and see who's complying and who's doing the courses and who's not doing the courses. And then 16, a voucher recon system. Track your spend as an FSP. If you bought a lot of vouchers from us, which the big FSPs do, they can see which representative or key individual used their vouchers and for what and how do they progress. So the introduction, your online workshop support pack, RE support packs includes an up-to-date study guide with cross-references, which includes at 191 level 1 to 4 multiple choice questions and answers. You can see the online library for additional resources. Go to the support tab on our website. So it includes 8 steps on how to study for multiple choice exams. We found out a lot of people have never done multiple choice exams and hence they're failing this RE exam. Now, these 8 steps on how to study for multiple choice exams will help you a lot. Then number 2, 4 steps on answering multiple choice questions like a pro. That will also help you a lot how to answer in the pro step. Then number 3, we're going to look at 5 multiple choice tricks and strategies which you can use to help you to pass this exam. And number 4, 23 multiple choice exam strategies that will also help you. And then number 5, the RE5, the representative students that must write RE5. You get online mock exams as well in this pack. 9 of them online mock exams. Each one's got 50 questions. So that's an additional 450 level 1 to 4 questions with immediate feedback, which you can practice at home to see if you know your work, or you can do it at the office, but don't let the manager find you out. Number 6, RE1 students, the key individuals. You can also online mock exams, which is 9 by 80 questions. That's 720 level 1 to 4 questions with immediate feedback. And you can also do it at the office. Don't let the manager catch you out. RE3, that's for the category 2 and 2A key individuals. Only mock exams, online mock exams with 4 by 30, because that is what you get in the real RX3 exam. So that's 120 level 1 to 4 questions with immediate feedback. Then number 9, bonus pre-recorded PowerPoint presentation to enable you to revisit the workshop more than once. So this workshop you can visit and have a look at more than once. Go to our website at www.integrityacademy.co.za, log in, go to my profile and my courses, where you will find everything there. People, please do those online mock exams at your house or at the office, because that mock exams will tell you where's your problem areas and where you need to focus more attention to in the study guide. So the first level regulatory examination, the answer sheet, we also realized a lot of people, especially the people that writing this RE exam the first time, don't know what to expect, what to take with, how's the paper going to be. So we're just going to share this with you as well. Um, Important things to remember for your exam. You must take your ID or a driver's license or a passport to identify yourself that it is you that's going to write the exam and not a friend or somebody else. You must take a HB pencil and a sharpener. A lot of people don't have pencils. They rock up there with a pen. Now you cannot erase ink if you made a mistake. So if you made a mistake, you can't erase it. And you'll see now why. So please, HB pencil and the sharpener, because if the pencil is getting blunt, you need to sharpen it. And a HB pencil, because it needs to be nice and dark. Other pencils will not be so dark, and then the computer won't be able to mark it, making you fail the R exam. Take a ruler and an eraser as well. So if you made a mistake, you can erase your mistakes. Your exam number you will receive at the venue. You must be seated 30 minutes before the exam session. So if you write at 10 o'clock in the morning, be there at 9:30. If you write at 9, be there at 8:30. If you write at 2 in the afternoon, you must be seated at 1:30. Because they're going to give you your exam paper. There's a lot of documents you need to sign and complete before the exam can start. So please don't be late. If you're late, you're going to have problems. Appeals and remarks. There's examination terms and conditions. You will get that. You must complete that and sign it. What is a remark? If you fail your exam, you are allowed to ask for a remark, and a remark is 350 Rand. But I would really not recommend that remark, because what they do is a computer is marking it, and they just put the question paper inside the computer. The computer looks for the same answers. He gets the same results. He spit it out. You will get exactly the same result. And you would have wasted 350 Rand. Rather take the 350 Rand and throw it out of your car window when you are driving on the highway. Give it to a stranger. Pass it on to me. If 10 people pass me 350 Rand, I'm going to be a rich man. But you're going to waste it. So, yeah, don't go for a remark, really. What is an appeal? An appeal must be done. So if you're not happy, you're not satisfied, you can appeal, but it must be done there before you leave the premises. Is there any refunds? No, there's no refunds. But people, you can pass with only level 1 and level 2 questions, easy, straightforward questions. I'm going to show that with you, for you. Level 1 RF5 exam for representative. Each person will get their own test. I get it so many times. People tell me, do we get our own test? Because he was looking from his friend's paper, and then he copied. If his friends wrote A, he also chose A. And if his friends choose B, he chose B. And then his friend passed and he failed. And he wants to know why. Because you all get your own tests. So you cannot copy from your friend. He's going to pass and then you're going to fail. It will not be the same as others, people. So don't try to copy your colleagues' tests. It will not work. You're going to get 50 questions, and they multiply that with 2. So 50 times 2 gives you your 100%. You must get 33 out of 50. 66% to pass. The pass rate is 65, but you cannot get 65. If you get 32 and you times that by 2, it's 64, you fail, because it's less than 65. If you get 33, you times it by 2, it's 66. You got 66%, it's 1% more than 65, you pass. You will have 2 hours or 120 minutes to complete this RE exam. Thus, you've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds per question. Do the easy questions first, and then you go and do the difficult questions. I'm going to show you and share with you also regarding that. The easy questions are at the beginning of the paper and then at the end. Medical certificate. People, if you've got any medical condition, get a medical certificate, take it to the exam room, and give it to the examiner or the invigilator, and then they might give you extra time, or they can be lenient to you, whatever the situation is. For the level 1 RE1 exam for key individuals, you get 80 questions, which will equal to 100%. You must get 53 out of 80, 66% to pass. You will have 2.5 hours, which is 150 minutes to complete your RE1 exam. And you have 1 minute and 45 seconds per question. So yeah, it's a bit quicker. Also do the easy questions first, and then the others. If you've got the medical certificate, you can take it and maybe you get some more time. Level 1 RE3 exam for category 2 and 2A key individuals. You will get 30 questions in your RE exam. You must get 20 out of 30 correct, 66% to pass. You will have 1.5 hours, 90 minutes to complete the 30 questions, so you have 3 minutes per question. Also, do the easy questions first and then the difficult ones later. And if you've got a medical condition, you can take a certificate and maybe you can get more time. Level 1 RE4 exam for category 3 key individuals. You will also get 30 questions, same as RE3. You must also get 20 questions out of the 30 correct to get 66% to pass. You will also have 1.5 hours or 90 minutes to complete, and have 3 minutes per question. And also do the easy questions first and then the difficult questions later on. And if you've got the medical certificate, you can also take it to get more time. Okay, meet John Davies. John Davies is a financial advisor who's going to write the level 1 RE5 exam for representatives. Let's have a look at the front page of the RE answer sheet that John must complete with an HB pencil. You will get a document like this, and this is why you must be there before the RE exam starts. You see on the top, there's correct. Your dots must be filled in completely, full circled with the HB pencil. Incorrect, don't mark a right tick or a cross or a little circle at the bottom or at the top of the red circle. It must be fully completed. Then you look on the left, this is where John will fill in his initials and his name. So if his name is John and that's his only birth name, he'll just put in there a J. If it's John Abraham Lincoln, you will put in J-A-L. The surname, this is where John will fill in his surname. Then we look at the type of ID. This is where he'll make a circle. If it's a RSA ID, he'll complete that circle. And then you look at the ID passport number. On the top, this is where John will have to fill in his ID number. So on the top, you will write it in, and then he's going to complete it as well in dots later, and I'll show you in the next slide. And then you look at the exam number, which you will get in the exam room when you're there. You will also complete that. So let's have a look at the next slide. Let's have a look how John must fill in his I number, which is 72091460942217. And his exam registration number, which is 1234567, which he received at the exam room. You see, so on the top, you will write in a pencil 72091460942217, whatever your ID number is. This is just an example. So please don't use this ID number for your exam, because then John Davies will pass and you will fail. Okay. This is just an example. Put in your own ID number there if you want to pass the exam. And then you must just look. If you started with the 7, you go down a line, you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you color in the number 7. And then the second number was a 2, then you go down 0, 1, and you make a dot on the 2. And then the third letter is a 0, so then you color in the dot 0. Then you find the fourth letter, a 9, and right at the bottom is the 9, you color in the 9, etc. That is how you do it. And remember, a computer is marking this. A computer cannot read your 7209, he can read the dots. And that's why the dots must be on the correct place. If you struggle in the exam and you're not sure, ask the invigilator or the examiner that they can help you, that you can make sure it's correct. Because if it's not correct, you're going to fail this exam and John Davies is going to pass. Okay. The same with the exam number. The exam number you will receive in the exam, you put in there, this is just an example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You go down, the first letter was a 1. So then you look, the first one is a 0, you skip it, the next one is a 1, you color it in 1. The second letter is a 2, you go down the line, you color in the 2. The third letter is a 3, you go down the line and you color the 3. Alright, so please make sure you do it the correct way so that you pass and not John Davies. So now it's time for you to practice filling in your details with a pencil. How to fill in your answers. You see on the left hand side, this is how it needs to be done. Complete fully with your pencil. How not to fill in your answers on the right hand side. People, if you fill it in that way, the computer is going to mark them wrong, and you're not going to pass this exam. You do it the way I showed you, on the left hand side is correct, not the ones on the right hand side, please. Okay, let's have a look at some study tips for you. Here is some study tips provided by Integrity Academy. Chapter 1. Get your mind right. People are so negative about this RE exam, and that is, then your mind is not right. You are totally on a wrong path, downward all the way. Be positive. A positive mind has got a positive attitude that got positive results. Negative mind, negative attitude, negative results. Please remember that. There's a lot of people who pass this RE exam the very first time. As I showed you in that testimonial, it can be done. It all depends on you. So, get your mind right. Let's start with the mental side of things. There's an old saying which goes, attitude, but not your attitude, will determine your altitude. So, what is your attitude towards this exam? That will depend on the altitude you're going to fly. How you approach this exam, to a large degree, determine your success or not. If you approach it in a positive manner, you will find things going a lot more smoother. If possible, be prepared to walk the extra mile to make sure you are properly prepared. That is the key word here. You need to be properly prepared. Then this exam is a breeze. It's easy. If you are not properly prepared, I don't have good news for you. This is not a Mickey Mouse test, people. It's a professional exam and need to be approached as such. Like anything else in life, if you approach something in a confident manner, you increase your chances of success. So the RE exams are not difficult if you know your work, and that is so true. It's 70% is easy peasy level 1 and 2 questions, and I'm going to share with you what is an easy peasy level 1 and level 2 question. But you need to study and you need to know it. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to do the easy peasy level 1 and 2 questions. You get 70% as from them. You can get 70%, and that's why people pass the exam. If they know the easy peasy stuff. They are very difficult if you don't know your work. If you haven't opened a study guide or the night before you tried to open it, no, forget it. They cannot even answer the 70% easy peasy questions, and that's when they fail this exam. Okay, you have to properly prepare. So tip 2, how to use the FVCA preparation guide. The preparation guide consists of 2 sections. Page 3 to 8 is a neat summary of what you can expect in the exam, including information about the format of the exam, reference material, the different types of questions, how to study, what to expect when writing exams, as well as frequently asked questions. It also contain very important information regarding the actual syllabus of the exams. People, you don't have to go and look for this FCA preparation guide. We already included it in your RE study guide. So it's just go and look pages 3 to 8. So you must be able to get the right preparation material. There are two elements which comprise the official reference material. The qualifying criteria provide the basis of knowledge and skills against which the regulatory exams are set. The qualifying criteria were developed in a process of consultation between the FSCA and industry representatives, and only questions based on these criteria will be included in the RE exams. The following reference material was used in the development of these questions. The FACE Act, and as amended by the Financial Services Laws General Amendment Act 45 of 2013, the General Code of Conduct, the FIC Act, also known as FICA, and various board notices. The above have all been included in the Integrity Academy study material, which is an easy to follow format. On the next slide, we show what is available on the FSCA website, but is this the best study material? People, you just need to study this RE5 exam. That's it. You don't have to study any other materials, except there's a representative register under your profile, which you can also download. That is not RE5 information. That's why it's not included in the RE5 study guide. But for some or other reason, you do get questions from time to time about that. And that's why we just wanted to make sure that you know and understand that as well, so that you'll be able to answer the questions. That is actually RE1 for the key individual, which are in their study guides. Okay. You see, this is the information available on the FSCA website. Now, we're going to look into this. This is all about fit and proper. But you see, it's a bit difficult to understand it this way, to study it this way. So that's why we took all this information, we included it inside this RE study guide, which you are going to deal with and look into during the course of this workshop. The same year, available on the FSCA website. All these acts and all these things. Then also board notice, FACE notices, but no properly compiled study material in layman's language. It's very difficult to understand. If you go and download these things and you have to study people, it's going to take you years. All right. We took everything together. We put it inside our study guide, and then all our people passed is from just using our study guide and the register, which you can also download. That's it. No other material is required, please. Step 4, dissecting the different units. It contains very important information regarding the actual syllabus of the regulatory exams. The 8 units relating to the representatives for RE5, the 16 units relating to the key individuals in RE1, the 11 units relating to the key individuals in RE3, that's for category 2 and 2A, as well as for the 11 units for the key individuals in RE4, and that is for category 3. Step 5, dissecting the different types of questions. Each exam will contain questions at 4 different levels of complexity. They're starting with level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And level 1 is knowledge questions, testing your recall of factual knowledge. That is where they ask things like, when did the FACE Act become effective? How many days for this? What is the fine for that? Easy things that you need to know. So you have to study to know these things, to be able to answer them correctly. Level 2 is a comprehension, testing your understanding and interpretation of factual knowledge and concepts. Level 3 question application, testing your ability to apply factual knowledge to real life situations. That is a bit more difficult, but not so bad. It's where they ask you questions like, John is doing this, Mary is doing that, Sue is doing this. Who's giving advice, who's doing intermediate service, and who's not giving advice. And what you've learned, you have to be able to apply to that answers to get to the correct answer. Level 4, analysis, testing your ability to analyze factual knowledge presented as case studies and to present the best action to take. It stands to reason that the first two types of questions will normally be shorter and easier to answer if you are thoroughly prepared. That is true. Level 1 and level 2 questions are shorter and easier. And that's why we also say you'll get 70% of level 1 and 2 questions, which are shorter and easier questions, but you have to know that information to be able to answer them correctly. For level 1 RE5, for the representatives, that all the easy questions, level 1 and 2 questions, appear in the beginning. So from question 1 up to question 18, and then from question 35 to the end. The third and fourth types of questions, and more difficult questions, will normally take longer to read. That's your case studies, longer paragraphs to read and to understand. And the possible answers from which you must select the correct option may also be longer. They appear in the middle from question number 19 to question 34. So my recommendation is, when you start doing this R exam, you do question 1 to 18, then you skip, you'll see, from 19, they start to be longer questions. Skip them, and then from question 35 until question 50, you do the other easy, short questions. Once you finish that, then you go to question 19 in the middle, and then you start with the difficult questions. The reason being, if you do the easy questions first, you've done 70%. The chances of you passing is great. You are then positive, and you said you can do it. And then you can spend the rest of the time on the difficult questions in the middle. It took me personally half an hour, 30 minutes to do the easy questions. And that is 35 out of the 50 questions. Half an hour. It took me the other hour and a half to do the difficult questions in the middle, because they take longer to read, the answers are longer, and it's longer to, it takes you longer time to get to the correct answer. So please follow that process. Do your easy questions first, then you've done most of the questions, and then you go to the difficult questions. And the other reason is, if you do the first 18 and then you go straight to the difficult questions, now you get stuck in the middle, you get stuck in the mud. You start sweating, you see, oh, it takes forever, your time is running out, you start stressing, you're not going to make it, and everything is just going to go downhill. At the end, you might not be finished with the difficult questions, or you will just finish with them, and before you can start with the last easy questions at the end, you ran out of time. And then, yeah, your chances are slim of passing indeed. Then, so please follow that recipe. Do the first 18 questions and the last 15. Then you've done most of the easy questions. But then you've done all the easy questions, and then you can go to the middle and do the rest. For the level RE1, RE3, and RE5, your questions also appear at the beginning and at the end of the paper. Where exactly, we're not sure, but it's the same principle. You start with the easy questions, the short ones, and the moment you see there's the long ones, you know here the difficult ones start. Then you go through the paper, where you see at the end, oh, here's the short, easy questions again. You just do them up to the end. So they appear also in the beginning and at the end. And the third type of fourth questions will normally take longer to read, exactly the same, and to understand. And the possible answers from which you must select the correct option may also take longer. They are in the middle of the exam. So for the RE1, RE3, and RE4 people, follow the same procedure. Do your easy questions in the beginning first. The moment you see, yes, the long ones, you know, it's difficult ones, you skip them and you look for the easier questions at the end of your exam and you finish them as well. And then only do you go back to the middle and do the difficult questions. Question format. Each question has 4 options. There's a A, B, C, or D. You must select the correct option as either A or B or C or D. Only one of them can be correct. It is very important that you understand the following. Questions can be posed in the following styles. A direct, closed-ended question. The question must be answered by choosing the correct option. Or an incomplete sentence. The sentence must be completed correctly by choosing the correct option. So there will be sentence and then it will just stop, but the sentence is not completed. So then either answer A must complete the sentence, or answer B, or answer C, or answer D. That's how you must be able to answer that question. Then when you look at negative questions, people, there are a lot of negative questions. There's 3 reasons people fail as RE exam. Number 1, they are either not properly prepared. So make sure you know your work very well, you're properly prepared. And I also notice that people who are properly prepared, they know the work on the tips of their fingers, but the negative questions catch them out. So please, don't fall for that trap. So the negative options needs to be chosen. And the applicant must be aware that these types of questions will be asked and therefore must read the questions carefully. And the negative questions, we talk about those ones that says not, which is not correct, which is incorrect, which is false, which is wrong. And then we also look at double negatives, like which is not incorrect. If something is not incorrect, it is correct. Exactly. If it's not wrong, it is right. If it's not false, it is true. You got it. All right. So make sure you know that. Then also questions like the most, the best, the least format. The applicant must choose the most applicable option to the questions. 2 answers are correct, or 3 or 4, but which answer is the best answer? I'm going to show you some examples on the slide just behind this for negative questions, double negative questions, and regarding the best. And then we look at a Roman numeral format, a closed-ended questions where the applicant must choose more than one correct option from a list of options. I'm going to show you some examples. Relax, don't stress. We're going to get there. And then sequencing. The options should be listed in the correct sequence. It is of the utmost importance that you read each question very carefully to make sure you understand what is being asked. Many candidates have failed because they did not read the question thoroughly before answering. So make sure you know what they ask before you answer. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know what they've asked, how can you answer them correctly? So you must make sure. But let's go to my slides of my demonstrations. Okay, people, when you look at the negative questions, you will see there on that whiteboard of mine, it says, which of the following is not ... Now, what I want you to know and what I want you to do is, whenever you start reading a question and you see the word not, or the word incorrect, or the word false, or the word wrong, don't carry on reading the rest of the question. Because the problem is, if you carry on reading the rest of the question, you are getting lost. You are going to forget about that negative word. You're going to forget about the word not and the word wrong or incorrect, and you're going to look for the correct answer, and then you are wrong. So what I want to teach you here is, if you get the sentence and you read, like for instance, this one says, which of the following is not, stop there. Stop, stop, stop. Don't carry on reading. You stop and immediately you take your highlighter and you highlight that not, or that wrong, or that incorrect, or you underline it. Or if you put a yellow highlighter, you take the highlighter and you highlight it, or you do something. Why? That negative word must stand out so that you know, oh, I must look for the wrong answer. So, and you can even make a small W there for you. W stands for wrong. Okay, wrong. A nice, okay, now I know what they're asking me. And then you carry on with the doiki, you read the rest of the question. All right, now you finish reading the rest of the question, then you look at answer A. Answer A is you think it's not right, it is the correct one, but you don't want the correct answer, you want the wrong one. So therefore, I don't want A. B, you say, I think B is also correct, but I want not the wrong one. So you don't want that one. And then you read C, you see, but C, I'm sure it's wrong, but let me just park it. Then you read D, you see, D is also correct, but I want the wrong. Oh, I don't want D, so therefore my answer is C. This is the wrong one. Okay, and there you got it, and then you are correct. Please, people, this is the second reason people are failing this RE exam, because they don't follow this recipe. They read which is not, which is incorrect, blah, blah. They read the rest of the story, and a minute later they finish with the story, and then they forgot about the word not. They forgot that they must look for the wrong question, and then they go look for the right question. And another thing is, if you see there's 3 that are right and there's 1 that's wrong, that must also send an alarm bell, because there's only 1 that can be right and 3 that are wrong. So be very careful. So whenever you see the word not, incorrect, false, wrong, even if it's a double negative, if it is, please, if it is not incorrect, it's exactly the same. Then you circle the whole word not incorrect, or you highlight the whole word not incorrect, or underline it, or highlight it with a highlighter. And then you said negative plus a negative gives a positive. Here I must look for the right answer. Okay, that's a double negative. Make sure you understand it. Please, people. Tip 6, dissecting the actual question paper. How is the paper compiled? We noted in tip 5 that the knowledge and comprehension type of questions usually are shorter and more manageable and quicker to answer, provided you have prepared thoroughly. They appear in the beginning and at the end again. Each exam paper is constructed in a prescribed manner. The questions will differ, although the recipe is the same. How can I distinguish between the various levels of questions? A hint contained in the preparation guide shows that the level 3 and 4 questions are located in the middle of the question paper. There is a fixed formula for all papers in level 1, RE5 for reps, RE1 for key individuals, RE3 for the key individuals in category 2 and 2A, and RE4 for the key individuals in category 3. There is no negative marking. It means that no points are deducted for a wrong answer. You will just get 0, but you will not get -2. So if you have no clue, take a guess, people. Don't leave questions open. Take a guess, A, B, C, or D, one of them. It means that at worst case, you have a 25% chance of getting it right, while not running the risk of losing a point for a wrong answer at all. Intelligent guessing, which entails deleting the wrong options, will further enhance your chances of getting it right. And I've experienced that. Sometimes I'm not sure which ones are correct, but I know which ones are wrong. That I know for a fact. So we call it the process of elimination, and I'm going to show you a bit later how that works. So delete the ones that you know is wrong, and then you will be left with the one that's correct. Okay, that is also much easier. Step 7, some concluding remarks. Type of exam. The regulatory examinations will be multiple choice questions based on specified qualifying criteria. The exams people are closed book. Yes, I've got a lot of people that ask us, is the exams closed book or is it open book? Because we don't have time to study, we don't like to study, blah, 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 whatever. The exams is closed book. Therefore, you have to study, you have to prepare. No material will be allowed in the examination room. If they catch you with any material in the exam room, they will take your paper away and you will fail. There will be no limit on the number of attempts made in order to achieve the competence. So there will be one national version of any regulatory examination for any category or subcategory. You can write as many times as you want, but obviously it's going to cost you money every time. So preferably you want to go and write it once and pass it once, saving you thousands of rands. There's only one right answer to each question, as I said before. So please read the questions and answers carefully. And there is no negative marking, and answers either right or it's wrong. Special conditions. Examinations will be done in paper format as indicated on the registration page. Remember when I showed you the example of John Davies? That is how the exam will be. You have to take your HB pencil and you're going to make that circles. Allowance is made very special, where special conditions apply. Some people might have sight or mobility impairment. Kindly indicate this when registering, and the exam body will alert the personnel to address your needs. Terms and conditions. It is essential that there are specific rules regarding the presentation of a profession exam, and for this reason, it is very important that candidates make sure they fully understand the terms and conditions laid down by the FSCA. Step 8. Learn, practice and improve. Integrity Academy input. I cannot stop stressing the value of doing your online time mock exams. This is the simulated practice. You will dearly need to improve your chances to ace this exam first time and save thousands of rands like other students did before. People do those questions in the study guides after each unit. Check your answers. Make sure you understand. Then make sure if you got a wrong one, you might choose A, but the answer is B. Go and have a look in that unit, why it's wrong, and learn from your mistake. Because 99% of the time, if you learn from that mistake, you will never forget it. The same with the online mock exams. Please do them. It's practice to see if you can see the words not, or the word wrong, or incorrect, or not incorrect, or false. You need to practice those things and to properly prepare for the oral exam. Gary Player used to say, the more he practiced, the luckier he got. So you must do the same. The more of those questions you do, the more you practice, the luckier you're going to get. And the people who follow that recipe, who do those online mock exam questions, and then they go through the videos again the second time, go through the study guide again, do the mock exams again for the second time. And then you get 9 new mock exams. So that's 18 mock exams in total, plus the 200 questions in the book. You're looking at about over 1,100 questions that you can practice with. And people, a lot of people tell us, well, but those questions are not the same as in the real oral exam. Yes, of course they're not the same. We don't know what the questions are. The questions are locked behind safe and alarms at the examination body. They won't share it with nobody. But these questions we've developed ourselves. What we think they might ask. But it's not about whether we spot them correct or not. It's more about practicing to test your knowledge. And if you don't do well in these questions, if you don't average 75% on our mock exam questions, then we can say you are not ready for this exam. Then you watch the videos again, go to the study guide again. Maybe you miss things, now you pick them up, or things you hear it for a second time and they're stuck in your head. And then you do the mock exams again until you average 75% for them. Then you know you're ready to go and write. And the people that follow that recipe are the people that go and write and they pass their oral exams the very first time. Yes, and if you need to do it the third and the fourth time, do it. Every time you get new mock exams that you can practice on. But now, saying that, if you have copied our material from a friend, you have failed at being fit and proper and you should be debarred. One of the requirements of fit and proper is honesty, integrity, and good standing. And if you've copied it, you don't have honesty, integrity, good standing. That might just be the reason why you keep on failing the exam. Remember, honesty pays every time. Best of luck with all your studies, timed online mock exams, and passing the exam the very first time. Our paid up students have achieved this regularly. As you will see on our testimonials, there's hundreds and hundreds of students that complimented us, that said thanks, they passed their oral exam the very first time, also doing this workshops online, followed what I told them, did what I told them, and learned, and yes, practice, and they passed. You can also do it the same as they have done. That's the end of the introduction. People, there's my email address, jaco@ialearn.co.za. Please, if you've got any questions while you're studying or you don't understand something and you need more clarity, please email me. I'll gladly reply back on the email. Or if the question in your study guide or online mock exams and you choose A but you see the answer is B and you don't know why, let me know. I will get back to you with the explanations. I rather do that to help you to pass this exam also the very first time. That is what we want. Our students must pass these RE exams the very first time. Good luck.